What in? Unhand me. You miserable wretch, I'll make sure you... Oh, I do beg your pardon. I'm not used to be taken hold of like that, especially not at this hour. You know how unkind these streets can be to a lady walking on her own. One could hardly blame me for reacting rashly. And it's fortunate for both of us that I missed. I trust the fall didn't cause you any serious injury. Eleanor Hyde is my name. What is it you want with me? Yes, I recognize your name. Dr. Jekyll's lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. You came to pay her a visit. You won't find her in. I'm afraid she's away from home this evening. A pity you came all this way, but it can't be helped. You know how busy the good doctor can be, I'm sure. What am I doing here? Well, before you interrupted me, I was about to go inside. I have a key, you see, and business to attend to. But I must admit, I'm curious now. How did you know my name? A favor before you answer. Very well. What would you ask of me? You wanted to see my face. You look as though you expected something else. Did you find me displeasing to look at, my dear? No need to get so defensive. I'm just having a little fun. I know I'm somewhat of an unusual countenance. I like to think it makes me a rarity. Since you know my name and face, you may as well know my address. I live on Wilder Walk in Soho, number 46. You're familiar with that area, yes? Good. Now you have my name, face, and address. That's more than enough information for me to warrant some from you. So I'll ask again. How is it you know me? You heard about me from a friend we have in common. I doubt we share many of those, my dear. This is the first time I've met you. Who told you about me? Dr. Jekyll. You didn't strike me as a liar, but I suppose looks can be deceiving. Jekyll didn't tell you about me, I'm sure of it. Yes, my dear, I'm quite sure. There are no secrets between Henrietta and I. If she told you, I would know. In any case, that's a matter for another day, if you'll excuse me. I know the good doctor won't be in for quite some time, but perhaps I might tempt you to join me for a cup of tea, or something a little stronger, if that suits your fancy. No, why not? She doesn't mind. What's hers is mine, after all. And I'm sure she'd want me to play the gracious host for such a dear friend of hers. Although if it bothers you so much, we could always go to my residence. I may not be as well stocked in regards to tea as the doctor, but I could offer you other things. Very well. Another time, then. Good night, my dear. Do come and visit me when you're able, even if you don't care for my appearance. I quite like the look of you. I was wondering when they'd leave. I find the others to be charming enough company, don't get me wrong, but I've been wanting to spend time with you all evening. I've not seen you in ages. I'm grateful you accepted my invitation for dinner. Come on, have a seat. The fire's lovely. You've been wanting to speak to me as well. It's good to know that my pining hasn't been one-sided as I thought. What is it? My will. My poor dear, I've never heard of a lawyer so troubled by a will once it's been written. The only person who bothers me more about it is that hide-bound pedant Lanyon. Oh, I'm not disparaging him. He's a wonderful fellow, one I'd wish I'd seen more of over the years. But I'd never been more disappointed in a man than I've been in Lanyon. He's an ignorant, blatant, stubborn pedant, trapped in the ways of the past. Do you know the last time we spoke he called me mad? Said my work was nothing but unscientific balderdash. As if he could. You're right. We're not talking about Lanyon. We're talking about my will. I know you don't approve of it. You make a point to tell me every time it's brought up. I don't mind talking with you, but even I grow tired of the same conversation over and over again. I've asked you not to talk about Eleanor Hyde. You agreed not to bring her up. I know how it may seem to you, but you don't understand. I have my reasons for making her my sole beneficiary. We have a very strange relationship, Hyde and I. One that I can't untangle myself from so easily. It is not an affair that can be mended by talking about it. Yes, I'm aware of the incident with the young girl outside my residence. It was an unfortunate affair, but Miss Hyde has already expressed her deepest regrets over causing such trouble. She reimbursed the family well, did she not? More than enough, considering there was no lasting harm to the child. You're a good person. Truly you are. I couldn't think of anyone I trust more than you. I practically trust you more than I trust myself. You've always been here for me, ever since we first met. No matter what anyone said about me becoming a doctor, you were supportive. I doubt I'd be where I am today if it weren't for you. I owe you everything. It isn't the drink talking, it's the truth. You matter a great deal to me, so believe me when I say this. I can be rid of Hyde whenever I want. She has no power over me that you should be worried about, so please, let's not discuss it again. Thank you. Before I drop the matter completely, I will say this. I have a great interest in Miss Hyde. There's more to her than you might think. I know you've met her recently. What was your opinion of her? Rude and unpleasant to look at. She made you uneasy. I'm sorry about that. But I do have an interest in the poor thing. There's more to her than first appearances might let on. She can be quite charming, you know, humorous. And she's much more intelligent than you might suspect. I want you to promise me that, should anything happen to me, you'll take care of her. You'll keep her straight and get her right sorted, won't you? I don't ask for you to like her, although that would be a benefit to both of us. I just ask that you do right by her if I cannot. Promise me that, please. Thank you. I truly do appreciate it. Enough of that sentimental talk. Would you care for a cup of tea? Or something a little stronger, if that suits your fancy? Oh, it's you. You've come at a terrible time, Yes. I've heard the news. They were crying it in the square. I heard them in my dining room. To think that Hyde, would be capable of such a horrible act. To kill someone so respectable in cold blood. They say that the poor man's body was beaten near to a pulp. No sane person could do such a thing. Hide her. I swear to God I'll have nothing more to do with her. I'd be happy to never set eyes on her ever again. And I'm sure I won't. I know her better than you. She's quite safe, and she wouldn't accept my help even if I were inclined to offer it. Yes, I am quite sure. But there is something I'm unsure about. You've always given me good counsel. Should I show this letter to the police? It's from Hyde. No, I'm not worried for her. Like I said, I could care less what becomes of her now. I don't think there's anything in the letter they could trace her with regardless. She mentions a way of escape, but nothing specific. I fear what might happen to my own reputation, should our connection be misconstrued. I burned the envelope before I realized it might have been some use, but it was unmarked. It was handed to one of the servants. I don't know by whom. Not Hyde, or they would have stopped her. You'll consider it. Thank you. I trust your counsel on this, so take as much time as you need. My will. Is now really the time to... You always were observant. Yes, you have the right of it. Hyde was the one who dictated the changes in my will. I should have suspected she had ulterior motives, but I trusted her. No doubt she meant to kill me and seize my assets for herself. A fine escape. I've had more than that. I've had a lesson. God help me, I've had a horrible lesson. I'd only wish I'd been able to learn it before someone else paid the price. Please, I beg you. No more talk of this. I can't stand it anymore. You have my word that you'll never see Miss Hyde again. Forgive me, but I'll have to ask you to leave me for today. I have no right to speak so selfishly. I barely knew the man, but I fear I might collapse if I don't take time to recover from the shock. I'll leave the letter up to you. Turn it into the police if you think it might be useful. If not, burn it, or keep it as you see fit. Thank you. You truly are a good friend. Promise, I'll find some way to atone for this. Once I can look at you without guilt, then I'll tell you the truth.